Farm Vet is here to support you and your horse both in and out of the show ring. From our highly trained staff to the best horse health product selection, we care about horses. Life out here can get pretty busy, so shop with Farm Vet in 3 convenient ways: by calling our sales team, shopping online, or stopping by one of our mobile locations. Everything you need is just a few steps away. From brushes and bandages to all of your pharmacy needs, Farm Vet has just what you are looking for. From all of us to you, welcome to Farm Vet. We are Horse Health.
Horseflight is excellence in international shipping. We like to say when you fly with us, you fly first class.
Horseflight was started by professionals in this industry, so your horse is next to our horse, and that means they're getting the best care, the best attention, the best service possible during their travels.
I felt like I could give something back to the clients, and that's what we try to do. We give first-class service. Give us a call. Call Horseflight, and we'll get your horse here.
Lisa Seeger Insurance.
Welcome to our world.
The industry has really changed in the last 5 years, and equine rescues are now being strongly encouraged to adopt a dog and cat model of rescue. And what that means is if the horse comes in and they're old, sick, untrained, and they are not adopted within 1 month, they should be euthanized. We can get a grant to euthanize a horse, but not to feed one. It's disgusting that there's so little value placed on their lives, so little value on their dignity or their well-being. It is up to us to change that narrative.
Will you please help us help the horses? Age is not a disease.
This is about bravery, a tribute to explorers, past and present, turning every second into a journey, constantly pushing the boundaries, making innovation a territory. So wherever your sense of adventure takes you, never lose track of time. Longines.
Is the first report. 7-2 is the time allowed on the track today.
Well, hello and welcome to Las Vegas, Nevada. You join us here in the South Point Hotel, Casino and Arena, and it's going to be another exciting competition. It's the Double or Nothing Speed Stake. Our athletes arrived a few days ago. They went through that initial horse inspection, and then we've seen some great sport as the chapters have unfolded here at the Las Vegas National Horse Show. Tonight, of course, we're going to be turning our attention to the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup Las Vegas, but before that, our athletes have got another competition on the cards today, and it is this one. It's going to be one round directly against the clock. Olaf Peterson Jr., our course designer, and we'll take a look at what he's got in store for our athletes in just a few moments once we get that first one on course. But it does consist of 12 obstacles, 14 jumping efforts, and although this is technically a one-round competition against the clock, there's still a time allowed, and that is set in this one at 72 seconds. But Olaf, definitely one of the riders' favourites. He's a man we see all over the world, and we look forward to seeing what twists and turns these riders are going to be faced with. It's going to be Casey Ammett who gets us underway. Laura Heights had some good success with that horse. James Chalk's got a younger horse in there. Skylar Wireman, the young talent that really is making a name for herself in the senior ranks. World number 20, Connor Swales in there. Derek Henny, another one ranked within the top 20. He's got California Pie. Jamie Taylor and Qatar, always quite close to that time, aren't they? They're always there or thereabouts in the top three, that pair. Braden James joining us from Canada. Nixon Van de Bishop. Also joining us from Canada's Chris Sorensen. But the US well represented here, Alexis Sokolov. She should be quite quick. Skylar Wireman's got another horse, actually. The athletes can ride two in this competition. Caitlin Campbell's already had a win here as the days have unfolded, as has Connor Swale, who will be returning with that second ride, Nadal Hero and DB. Katie Lowry's had 2 wins already this week, and she comes back last to go, knowing exactly what needs to be done. But you know, our riders are out there warming up. They know they've got to find the tight turns today. They know they've got to find areas where they can really open things up and try and push on and try and be the fastest one round without knocking any of these fences down. And it's great that we are live once again on the FEI social media channels. We're live on YouTube, we're live on Facebook, and we'd love for you to get involved with the conversation. So if you're watching on either of those platforms, then you can drop any questions or comments in the box below. You can even just say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you're watching on there or anywhere else and you want to just drop me a message on Instagram, I'll keep an eye on my phone as well. Just search for Adam Cromarty on there. And of course, we'll be able to have a little chat as things unfold here, because it's going to be a great competition for sure. Well, our first combination making their way forward to join us, it's going to be Casey Ammett and Gaia for the United States of America. This is a horse that's 12 years old. It's a mare by Cantos. But yeah, this should be quite a good competition here this afternoon. You know, having a look at the runners and riders, there are plenty of variety in there. But this is a combination that's had a 2-star win. Casey's owned the horse for 3 years now. Naturally fast, this one. But let's take a look at the track and what is in store. We're going to be starting over the dice, this vertical on the long side at fence number 1. Right-handed on the bending line down towards the Longines Oxer. And then as they land, they're already thinking about this fence, because it's going to come at them quite quick, because they're going to be travelling. Vertical at 3. Triple bar now, so when you get a little bit closer to that front bar. Then comes down on the related distance to Las Vegas National, vertical at 5. Round the top corner here, towards these horses' heads. Related distance down to the double through 7A and B, vertical. 1 stride vertical. Then it's back across the diagonal here as we come round towards this Oxer. Black standards and the green rails there, that's fence 8. Right-handed dog leg down to the fruit machines at 9. And this is going to be an interesting turn where you can really make up some time if you can keep travelling as you roll back round over that delicate vertical. Long side next, 11A and 11B, 1 stride double, vertical to Oxer. And then we finish over this vertical at fence number 12. So that's the course. You can see there's plenty of twists and turns in there. Casey has 3 rails down today, so we'll finish on a total of 12 in 63.45. So you're just trying to turn over that fence, and here, you know, you've got to get as close as you can to the base of the triple bar, so then you can stretch over the width. So our first to go, Casey Ammett, then leaves us on that total of 12, 63.45. But a great chance there to look at the course, and we're going to get Aviator Z on track now. The 11-year-old gelding by Q Breitling Lucia. Laura Height rides this one. She's got a couple of horses here with her. She trains with Cassio Rivetti. Spent some time last summer over in Europe. I mentioned she trains with Cassio. I actually saw Cassio ride this horse at Spruce Meadows over the summertime. But in the 3 years that Laura's had this horse, you know, she's really got to know him well. She's given a nice smooth rhythm so far, taking a little check where she has to. Getting organised, using the most of the corners. And I think we'll see, you know, people like Connor Swale come in there a little bit tighter. But Laura knows this horse. And she's sticking to her plan. Comes down to this one. Wow! Final fence, 68.56. Just that final fence. The angle of that fence is going to be very influential. But she will finish on just the 4, 68.56, and 4 faults there for Laura Height and Aviator Z. Having a quick look on the YouTube live comments, Sarah Equestrian said it's crazy how there's a horse show in Vegas the same time as there's Formula One. It's just horsepower all over the place, Sarah. But really, it doesn't really feel like there's Formula One because we are just off the strip. We're about 10-15 minutes from the Las Vegas Strip, so you don't really get affected too much here. We'll keep an eye on those comments as things continue, but for now, we're going to get Peyton Crunnenball underway. Garibaldi's the horse, and as you saw, just had a very frustrating 4 faults at the first fence. But who knows, a fast 4 fault round in this could pick up some money, but 8 faults is going to be difficult. But this is a horse she absolutely loves. It's brought her so many firsts. You know, her first Grand Prix at the beginning of the season, lots of good results in Temecula and at the Seaside Equestrian Tour. That was all in the national ranks. This week she's moving into the FEI division. And you know, all those events that I just talked about, all pretty much, in fact, I think all outdoors. And she jumped some nice rounds earlier in the week. Now we're riding against the clock, so the fences are coming at her even quicker than they were before. There's a little bit of technicality involved in this track. $69.05 now, 16's the total, but I think she'll take a lot of value out of that course as well. I think there'll be plenty to talk about backstage. She's a nice rider with a nice horse, and just a different experience than perhaps she's had in the past. So 3 gone, best we've seen sits on 4. That's Laura Height of the USA, 68.56. And the 4 faults there. Monica's mentioning 144 seconds as the max. So the way it works is there's a time allowed, Monica, and then if you exceed that by double, so if you manage to get to 144, then that would be the time limit and you'd be eliminated. So that's not the kind of max, essentially. 72 seconds is the length of the track that's been measured. They're traveling at 350 meters a minute, 420 meters from start to finish. And although this is a 1-round competition directly against the clock, there's still a time allowed, so that's all that is. We're not really going to see anyone take 144 seconds to get round here. That would be a long time. Anyway, James Chalk already on track with us. 1 addition. This is an 8-year-old mare by Tangelo van de Zuthove. It's got Cannon on the dam side. James felt that down that line. You could see him, you know, just taking a little check. But I think this is going to be a very exciting horse. It's a very nice young one. James doing a good job there. You can see this horse has got all the ingredients. Naturally quite quick across the ground as well. 65.23, so just one coming down. 4 faults there for Ireland's James Chalk. And one addition does go into the lead at this stage. I think you, me and James know that that's not going to stay up at the top of the leaderboard, but a lot to like from that round for sure. We've seen some quite quick rounds, just looking for that first clear though at this stage. Once again, if you are watching on Facebook or YouTube, then do get involved with the conversation. Let me know where you're watching from. Any questions, pop those in the comments box as well. And let me know where you're watching from. And if you're on Facebook, hit that share button, tag your friends, and share us to any equestrian groups you're on. Let them all know that they can enjoy the action live here in Las Vegas. Emperor Claudius next to go. Chris Sorensen in the saddle. The 13-year-old gelding by Zalando. Well, Chris represents Canada. He's based in the Netherlands. Again, this is a horse he knows quite well. We've seen them together in Nations Cup competition a few years ago, back in, it was 2019 and 2021. This is a horse he's been using for the 2-star competitions in Chantilly and Reisenbeck over on the European circuit. It's a little bit caught up, comes down on the back bar. But then you could see Chris be really reactive as he landed there. He knew he had to make a little bit of a change down that line. And he got organised. Whoa. Just a little bit of a communication issue coming down that line. And he's just not quite getting the feeling that he wanted out there today. And you know, Chris is a good horseman. He knows this horse well. He just gives his signal to the ground jury just to say, you know what, I'm going to retire here. Might just jump a little fence on the way out just to finish on a good note. And then we'll see them again back out very soon. But yeah, that was a shame there for Chris. Unexpected as well of that partnership. Comes down on that back bar. Right, let's take a quick look at the Facebook live chat. We've got Jennifer watching in New Mexico, says she's super excited. Laura Berger watching in Langley, BC. Love BC, love Canada actually. Abraham in Ethiopia, he's the furthest away so far. Pedro's in Belgium. Radu is in Romania. Pascal says bonjour something something. He's watching in France. And my French is awful, other than petit pois and escargot. That's all the French I can do, I'm afraid. Who else have we got? We've got Vicky in Denmark, NC Rivers watching in Maine, Anne's in Ocala, Florida. That's becoming a real hot spot for equestrian activity, isn't it, down there in Ocala at the World Equestrian Centre? You've got Live Oak there, you've got the hit shows. Felicity's in Jupiter, Florida. Judy also in Florida, as is Mary. Right, let's get Caitlin Campbell underway. She's an athlete that's already had a win here at this event earlier in the week. This one's called Paulina. They've had a good season. You know, if you look right back to towards the start of the year, she was second in a $50,000 National Grand Prix there. And originally, this horse, they've got a great training business, her and Alex Wilson, and originally this horse was bought as a part of that sales business to bring on and then sell to a new home, but it never quite got round to that. Caitlin loves this horse. It's been very successful for Caitlin. They've had wins all over the place, and this is one that we've seen Shane Sweetenham ride in the past as well. But Caitlin's a very competitive rider, can sit on pretty much anything. And if she can go clear, she really is going to put the pressure on for us today. Catches that front bar. That vertical, you know, on paper is going to be one of the fences to look out for sure, and it's a bit uncharacteristic of this pair. I think she's getting a little bit flat at times, so it finishes up on the 12:61.63. Good enough for third at this stage. 26 left to come though. See, she rolls back round here, takes a check, and then has to push on out over and just flattens a little bit over the vertical. Just again, quick look at the YouTube chat. We've got Monica watching on there, Rodent Razor, regular viewer, the old grey mare. Also we got Sandy, Ava's on there, Twinkle Toes watching in Cornwall, UK, lovely part of the UK down in Cornwall. Vixen in Slovenia, Nex is in Canada. Animal Girls on there as well. Miss Jules watching from a very wet New Zealand. New Zealand's on my list. I'm hoping for next year. I'd love to do a little bit of time in Australia and New Zealand as well. But yeah, great to have everyone joining us all in the chat. Again, if you want to get involved with the conversation, do feel free. And we'll get Cassio Rivetti underway with Billy Dorito here, representing Brazil with this British bred horse from the Billy Stud. Billy Stud producing some great horses now. Oh! Cassio's a very competitive rider. Someone who's produced some nice horses and some great results over the years. He's going to be a little bit frustrated about that mistake at the triple bar for sure. This is a man who's been on a real successful streak. Catches that as well. He was the winner of the Great American Grand Prix at Del Mar. For those interested in the tack, this horse is in a hackamore, so a bitless bridle. And also has some special tape over the horse's nose as well. And a lot of people are using this now to open up the horse's nostrils and airways and trying to allow a little bit more oxygen in. But you know, that's a pair to keep an eye on. Cassio Rivetti there with Billy Dorito today, just a little bit unlucky, 66.73. A couple coming down for him.
16th ranked rider in the Raju World Rankings.
So having a quick look through my Instagram now. Brooke is on saying, do we have any athletes coming for Canada? We do. You've already missed one or two, but we do have some more coming. Who else have we got on there? Casey, she's on there as well on Instagram saying, is this the World Cup? No, it's not the World Cup, but we're going to see the World Cup tonight, 7 p.m. local time on FEI TV for that one. Right, Derek Henny underway now. California Pie represents Ireland. Dara ranked within the top 20 in the world. Been an interesting competition so far, because you know, a couple of the ones on paper you think would be jumping clear and putting the pressure on have just had the odd rail here and there. This is a great horseman that we've seen at, you know, Nations Cup final, Europeans, at the Olympics. He's had this horse since the start of the year. I saw him place well at Spruce Meadows over the summertime. Quick shout out to the grooms as well, because this horse is absolutely immaculate. Again, this would be another one that, you know, if he'd left that fence up, he really would have added some pressure on. 60.33, fastest time we have seen. You know, I know people have had one or two rails, but none of them have been as fast as Dara Kenny. 60.33 in 4 faults. Again, does go up to the top for now. 24 left to come though. There's nothing really that Derek could have done differently there. You know, he rode the horse really well, and sometimes you can just be a little bit unlucky. So Derek Kenny leads on 4, James Chalk on 4 in second, and Laura Height on 4 and in third place. Connor Swale about to go. One of the athletes ranked within the top 20 in the world, and he's got the 14-year-old gelding by Diamond de Semele, Vital Chance de la Roque. This horse is known as Vinny in the barn. He's had some good wins in Tryon this year. Jumped nicely at Spruce Meadows as well. He'll without a doubt be one of the athletes we see here tonight in the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup Las Vegas. And this is the first of his 2 rides. This horse is so quick, so clever. Ooh. Connor, you know, really tried to hustle down that line and do everything that he could. But at the moment, you know, Fast Four could pick up some prize money here. Oh, that was a proper bit of Connor Swale right in there. The horse kind of lost its footing behind, and Connor really helped the horse out. And he's, you know, no one else can do that and get away with it. Only Connor can. 61.63 into second there for Connor Swale and Vital Chance de la Roque. To be able to get out of the way like that takes such good natural balance and feel, and sometimes a little bit of luck, but not often with Connor, to be fair. Normally it is just pure skill and talent. Right, let's get back over to Facebook Live, and Karen is watching in Quebec, Canada. Alessia watching in Zambia, southern part of Africa. She's put in brackets there, so she must know how bad my geography is. Audrey's watching in Ireland, good to have you with us. Gerald's watching in Ireland as well. Great to have so many people joining us live from around the world. And Skylar Wireman's got 2 horses in this one. This is her first ride. Chorlito Z. Skylar, a young rider who's, you know, made a big name for herself in the world of equitation and hunters, and now into the FEI division. Jumped her first World Cup in Sacramento. She's got a very nice string of horses at the moment. Competed in her first 5-star competition this year as well. That was during the Nations Cup event that was held by Blenheim Equisports and Simon Capistrano, the same organising committee that brings this show together. She's quite a regular face there at Blenheim, actually. She was 3rd in their 3-star Grand Prix over the springtime. There's a little bit of four-faultitis on this course so far. She takes another one though, brings it up to 8. But this is one of these tracks that you can't just go fast. You know, it's still got to be a jumping track at the end of the day. This isn't technically, I know, a speed competition at Table C. It's still a jumping competition. It's just one round against the clock. So we'll have to put plenty of tests and questions in there just to make them kind of think and test that adjustability. 66.45 with another horse to come, but with the first ride, Skylar Wireman will finish on 12 faults there. Chirlito Z, 12 faults there for Skylar. Just drops that front rail. Kamagodek next, Sanino B. Cam is another one of the riders we'll see tonight in the World Cup. Just in case anyone's new to the sport and wondering, you know, when they jump the World Cup tonight, it will be with different horses. No one's going to be jumping the same horse in the two competitions. But Kama brings some nice horses over from Europe, doing some breeding as well. Horse looks a little bit strong today. Kama's really using that outside rein, using the corner to rebalance. Taking a bit of a check down this line. Working in this roll back. Well, it's going to finish up on 12 faults there, 66.31, first of two for Kamagodek, and it's 12 faults here. Sanino B heads into 8th place. 21 left to come. We've seen 11 so far, no clears as yet. 4 on the 4 faults though. Dara Kenny, the fastest of our 4 fault rounds, currently leading on 60.33, so that's how things stand here in this one. Hi to Alma, who's watching in Mexico. I said something in Spanish, and my Spanish is no better than my French, so I can't really tell what you said, but hello to Alma in Mexico. Nini's here as well, Nini De Lewis. Teresa's watching in Virginia. Says, how many riders are left? Missed the beginning. Where were you, Teresa? How could you miss the beginning? We've got just over 20 left. Just over 20 left to come. Danielle Morrow and Mira F on course now. It's an 11-year-old mare by M. Special de Muse. Dam Cyrus Papa the second. Info's interested in tack. She rides in a Pelham, but rather than having 2 reins, then uses some roundings that essentially turns 2 reins into 1. So you put 1 rein on the roundings, and then one part of the rounding where your snaffle rein would normally go, and then the other rein where your Pelham rein would go. Kind of does a good job with some horses though. Danielle clear so far. You know, I think at this stage, just because there isn't any clears, you can't change your plan. You know, you can't think, well, I'm going to go a little bit steadier, and because you know you've got some really quick ones coming right at the very end of this competition. And people like Katie Lowry that have already had 2 wins. Caitlin Campbell's got another one. Connor Swale coming towards the end, but that is someone who's left all the jumps up. And Nini did the opposite of what I just said actually, and did change her plan and did go a little bit steadier because she's picked up 2 time faults. However, she goes up to the lead for now, 73.03. That won't be good enough to win today, but she does go into the lead for now on the 2. And speed's such a funny thing in this sport. You know, it's a bit like the time allowed in a normal, you know, jump-off competition. If you gave them another 10 seconds, it's amazing how many more clears you would get, because the slower you go, the more room you go, the easier the tests and the questions are. Putting that little bit of pressure of time on, or a little bit of extra speed, really does change everything. This horse is normally quite quick. I don't want to jinx her, but jumped very nicely the other day. Quattar and Jamie Taylor here for the USA. The 13-year-old by Kiram Di Ravel.
5 totals, including a win in this class last year.
She's done well in this competition in the past. Her sister Katie had a baby earlier this week, so she's just became an auntie. Hi to Sheila as well on Facebook Live, just tuned in from West Virginia. Thomas King watching in Ocala. Good to have you with us. Looking over on the YouTube Live chat, Reggie Rat says, yeah, clear. So close, Reggie, so close. She left them up. It was just the 2-time faults, but we're going to see a clear. Oh, not from her though. Just not having the best communication day. It's a little bit deep into the oxer. Not like this partnership at all. Takes the final fence as well. 16 total, 65-45. Someone asking on the YouTube chat what better bridle this horse is wearing. This is another type of hackamore, just slightly different from the one that you saw earlier on, but you can see nothing in the horse's mouth. It's got a little chain on the back end, and then whatever comes over the nose, there's a bit of a sheepskin there, just provide a bit of comfort and protection for the horse. Kitty Lowry comes forward next, Cara Caruso. Horse that jumped well at Spruce Meadows over the summertime. Kitty's a regular face there, actually based in Canada these days. It represents Australia here. And since we've kind of got on a bit of attack theme here today, and this one's a little bit different as well. He just goes in a rubber snaffle with no martingale. Katie won the 2-star Grand Prix at Desert Horse Park earlier in the season. She's had a couple of wins here with her different horses over the last few days. Whoa! She did everything she could there. This horse that's called Elvis in the stable. She was just trying to kind of turn in there and keep moving, and then tried to get her leg on, and it's definitely a thinking class today, this one. Oh, wiggle and jiggle to that final fence, and it does come down. 12 faults in total, 61-45. Time wasn't bad at all, but 3 come down and 12 there for Katie Lowry. We're going to see her come back though last to go with a horse called Boom that's been on winning form, so certainly not over for her by a long shot. Hi to Paige, who's watching in California. Good to have you with us, Paige, watching from Ramona. I spend quite a bit of time in LA these days, over on the West Coast. Miss Jules says Katie Lowry was born in the UK, so technically she's British. Well, technically she's representing Australia, and she lives in Canada, so who knows, but she is riding for Australia today, Miss Jules. But you are right, she was born there and she spent a bit of time travelling about over the years. This is Wannabe, the 11-year-old stallion by Warrant. Brooke Pedersen rides for the USA. This jumped quite well the other day. Catches that front bar. Comes at you quite quickly, that one. Yeah, and just continuing our tack discussion, you might see that Brooks Bridle's got tiny little blinkers on them. And in the old days, it was, you know, big bits of sheepskin, and the rules came out that they couldn't be, you know, any bigger than 3 centimeters away from the side of the horse's face. You then had to either use cable ties or tape to try and tame the sheepskin. And now Dion make a kind of plasticky leather set that, you know, conforms to the rules, and it can be a real handy piece of tack for horses that are either a little bit spooky or tend to try and look behind as you're jumping. So it just kind of keeps the focus, and that's all they do. Might be able to see them head on there. 4 faults is the result though, 67.41, second slowest to the 4 fault round, so heads down into 5th place at the moment. Danielle Morrow still leading for the US on the 2 time faults, 73.03 and 2 time faults. Hi to Sanchez Carmen, who's just joined us. She's put a US flag and a Mexican flag, so not too sure where Sanchez is, but somewhere between those two. Carolina says, I love Brooke. Laurie Jones says that she likes the dice fence. That's fence number 1. Braden James next. Nixon van de Bishop representing Canada. The 10-year-old gelding by Castellino van de Hel. Joining forces for the first time this week in international competition, but the horse has been with Braden for a couple of years, and they've been competing successfully in the metre 35 classes this summer. And Braden's got quite a big string of horses at the moment. Some good results at Thunderbird throughout the year. It's a great venue in Vancouver, run by the Tidballs and their show manager Chris Pack. Obviously the news will filter backstage quite quickly that we don't have any clears yet. I still think, you know, you can't take the foot off the gas too much, because you've got to look at who's coming towards the end. Well, roll back turn gets the vertical. Well, a nice effort there today. Finishes up on the 4, 70.44 and 4 faults. Sadly not his day. So we've reached the halfway stage now, and Danielle Morrow still leading on 2 at 73.03. Dara Kenny of Ireland, fastest of the 4 falters. And the fastest round we've seen, actually, 60.33, and then Connor Swale on the 4, 61.63, and in 3rd at this stage. You can see that leaderboard on screen right now. But we haven't had any clears as yet. I still think we're going to see some, though. You know, when you look at who's still left to come towards the end of the competition, this isn't over by a long shot. Now, we've seen some real twists, real turns. We've seen that they've had some great options set by Orla Peterson. And a couple have just been really unlucky today, but we'll see how that luck continues as things unfold here in the Double or Nothing Speed Stake. $50,000 in the prize fund today. Again, if you are watching on Facebook Live or on Instagram or on YouTube, make sure you get involved with the conversation. Let me know where you're watching from. Any questions, comments, good luck messages for the riders, you can pop that in. If you're watching on USCF Network powered by Clip My Horse and you want to send a message, if you want to get involved, just search for Adam Cromarty on Instagram and you can send me a message on there. And there's some good behind-the-scenes photos on there as well. Actually, we've had a great week, and a few people have been asking about Formula One here in Vegas, and it really isn't affecting this event too much because we're a little bit removed from the strip, about 15 minutes in the car away from the strip. I went down there the other night, and it's completely different for anyone that's ever been to Las Vegas. Things looking very strange down there at the moment. You know, normally when you're staying at one of the hotels, you can walk down the strip. There's always lots of cars about and stuff, but you can see the other side of the road, and at the moment, there's fencing all the way down the strip, so you can't see from one side to the other. If you want to cross over, you've got to walk, you know, past hotel after hotel to the other end. And then even when you're on the bridge, they put fences up so you can't see down the strip because that's where the racetrack's going to be. So unless you buy your ticket, there's no way to get a glimpse from either the sidewalk or the bridges. But the opening ceremony the other day was magnificent. Had some huge artists, big DJs. It's obviously brought a lot of people to Las Vegas, but we're kind of in our own little bubble here. This hotel is called the South Point Hotel and Casino, and when you come in, as with all the big hotels down on the strip, it has a huge casino. You know, you just keep walking and walking past machines and tables and all the rest of it. There's 12 restaurants in here. There's a massive cinema with I don't know how many screens, but lots. 2 bowling alleys, 1 competitive, 1 for fun. Spa. Did I mention restaurants? Probably. It's got everything, and if you keep walking, eventually you come here to the arena, and it's an amazing equestrian facility. I mentioned the other day that a few years back, I don't know why they stopped it actually, but a few years back you could actually order room service to your horse's stall. So if you were down there, you know, early morning, you could get your breakfast delivered down there. It's such a good service. But yeah, such a unique facility. And I'm so glad that they still have a World Cup and we still get to come here, because we will be back for that Longines FEI Jumping World Cup a little bit later on tonight, 7 p.m. local time, and that's only available on FEI TV. So if you haven't yet organised that, get onto FEI TV, click My Horse, and get organised. I'll be joined with Katie Stazak for that one. And don't forget the highlight show as well, of course. If you want to watch this on TV, do check your local listings, but I believe the highlights from this World Cup, if you're in North America, is going to be on Thanksgiving evening. So after you've had your turkey, you can sit down and enjoy the sport. I can't remember what time it's on. I think it's about 7 p.m, but do check local listings because they may change, and obviously it's different on the East Coast and the West Coast. But yeah, it's been a great event so far. We're putting up a few pictures on Instagram as well from behind the scenes. Mark Wahlberg was here the other day for anyone that follows Hollywood. We did an interview with him. His daughter Grace is riding in the USHJA classes out in the other rings. And she was jumping in here yesterday, actually. She's a great little rider, so he was down supporting her. They're now based in Vegas. So yeah, if you want to send a message to Instagram, if you want to see any of the behind-the-scenes photos, you can head. Just search for Adam Cromarty on there. CROMARTY, search on there. You can send me a message as well. I'll keep an eye as the second half of the competition unfolds. But we've got some great talent coming up for you in this second half. Let's just have a quick check over on Facebook as well, see who else has joined us. Joanne Porter's watching in Leicestershire, back in the UK, where I'm flying to tomorrow night. Been at shows over here for about the last 8 weeks between Canada and the US, so finally getting home tomorrow. Before we come back, of course, for the World Cup in Texas for a day a little bit later on in the year in December. Susie's watching in California, says these horses are all amazing athletes. Completely agree with you, Susie. Nancy's in the Netherlands. Ricardo's watching from Spy Coast Farm in Lexington. They produce an amazing amount of horses now, Spy Coast Farm. Dina says, and I've had to use the old translation here because it's in Dutch, and again, you know, French and Spanish aren't my game. Neither's Dutch, but she says Honig has been built now. Don't know what that means. Vicky says, very difficult course today, very technical. Yeah, it is, Vicky. There's a little bit of technicality out there, but again, it's about that speed. You know, if you went round and just wanted to get home within 90 seconds, you know, I think about 65% of them would have been clear now. It's the fact they want to take the shorter lines, they want to keep moving forward. We know indoors the questions come a little bit faster, and on the West Coast where we are, we don't see many indoors, so when you add all those things together, it's not only technical, but it's all about just how quickly they're travelling and how quickly they're whole West Coast. So when you're riding outdoors and you're in an arena that's 4 times this big, you've just got more room to kind of get organised, and the related distances aren't quite so close together. You'd have lots of kind of 7 stride distances, rather than 4 or 5 stride distances, and those 2 extra strides to get organised down a line can make a big difference. Petra is saying, she asks how high the course is. This is a 1:45 competition, so 1m45. World Cup tonight will be getting up to 1m60. That really is top level. Right, let's get back underway though. Thanks again for everyone that's getting involved though. Nicole Honert joins us here for the United States of America. Ulathago PS is the horse that she rides. It's a 9-year-old Oldenburg, this one, for the team at Bluegate Stables. Nicole showed this horse in the FEI competitions last month in Sacramento. Had a top 3 finish in the 4-star competition that was very similar to this up there. Nicole operates TriStar Farms with her husband Ryan. They've got a great string of young horses they're bringing up through the ranks in Southern California, or SoCal as it's called here. Whoa, little stumble around that corner. See, she's got her reins organised, got her upper body organised, and got the canter organised. Horse just playing a little bit. Got away with it though. Let's see how she handles this turn. She's given herself a little bit of room, steadying down, and then needs to get that organised for here. Ah! It's a shame. It's going to pick up some time faults for sure. I think the riders will come out here, taking a lot away from this course. And in this type of competition, it's always better to see this a little bit more technicality, a little bit more to make them think, rather than just letting the riders gallop flat out round. So I think the riders, although they'll be frustrated to have faults, I think they'll take a lot away from this. Nicely through the second time. Well, in the end, it's going to be 20. Answers some of the questions out there really well. Nicole Honert and Ulathago PS, 20 in total, 83-21 the result. So Danielle Morrow still leads on that score of 2.
This event back on the second and virtue rides. This is Maxwell Carr. $15-year-old Bravo 12 looks like 8 top 12 places for this combination.
Yeah, I think she'll be a little bit frustrated about that. Just that tiny mistake. Very costly though. We're off to Dexter R next. Casey Ammon in the saddle. This is Casey's longtime partner. I know she calls this one her horse of a lifetime. We've seen them competing every year. She's a great supporter of the Las Vegas National Horse Show. She's done a little bit of breeding with this horse as well. He produced his first 2 foals this year. And Casey got married in the summer, so she's having a great year. Oh, certainly gets up in the air, this horse. Someone on the YouTube chat there is saying they can't believe the stables are underground. They are, and it's such a nice area down there because it's bright, it's airy, it's climate controlled, it's quiet for the horses. And there's great facilities down there. Everywhere's rubber matty, there's the wash boxes, there's a shop for human and horse supplies. The show office is down there, there's a vet centre, there's a farrier workshop. They do a lot of equestrian events here, a lot of rodeos and stuff. Use this venue. So the horses are well catered for. And that's why every year, we're seeing more and more top-level riders come to this event. You can see her really using that upper body, bringing that inside shoulder back around the turn. I'm not going to say anything, I don't want to jinx her. Let's keep an eye on that clock though, 72 seconds time allowed. She's a little bit too slow. 2 time faults, 73.83. Casey Amant into second place, the slowest of our two time fault rounds.
Alexis Sokolov is our next to go. Alexis on Fasol de Seigneur, the 12-year-old male by perimeter.
But we could easily have seen a handful of clears by now. We're getting down to the final 14. Our course designer Olaf Peterson's sitting next to me actually. Olaf, are we going to see a clear? Are we going to see a clear round? He doesn't know. Thanks for the great insight, Olaf. But Olaf Peterson, one of the great course designers, he's one that all the riders enjoy jumping these courses. And as I mentioned earlier, you know, I think these riders will take a lot away from this course today, and you know, they'd much prefer this than having a big gallop around. It's good for these horses to have a little bit of technicality in there. And this horse is naturally fast across the ground. Fasol de Seigneur and Alexis Sokolov for the United States of America. See, this horse might be a little bit strong at times. It's got a bib martingale on. Martingale we see a lot on the national hunt scene. Got those blinkers on that we talked about earlier as well. It looks like an American gag bit. Oh, really sits back, uses that upper body. Comes down towards this final fence. She's going to be our first one. She is clear. 70.97. Olaf said, yeah, there we go. Well, there we go, straight to the top of the leaderboard. We've got that clear now, 70.97. So Alexis will be very happy with that horse. And she had to ride a little bit in there. So we've got the clear. The interesting thing, of course, is that Dara Kenny was over 10 seconds faster than Alexis. So has she done enough now? You know, we've got some quick ones coming near the end. Jacqueline Atkinson's next. Havalol H. She's placed in a couple of FEI competitions with this one in the past, had some good finishes nationally in Colorado. Another one we see at San Juan Capistrano in the Blenheim events there throughout the year. So 70.97 is that time to beat. And it is beatable. We've seen Dara go a lot faster, but no one's managed to go quicker and leave them up. That was her fault, not the horse's. Started off so well. But in the end finishes on the 8:65.43, gives her horse a pat. That was a shame there. I think she'll be frustrated because that was a nice round up until then. But 8 faults it is. See, she just checked and checked, and she was trying to find a distance in there, but there just wasn't one. And then this fence comes at you so quickly after that. You know, she was trying to get organised and. Everyone very happy about that clear round though. Ronan Razor says, finally. Monica says yes. MD says a clear. Animal says yes. Old Grimmer says great job. then we turn to our next one. Sophia Segal on track with Unchained 2. 9-year-old by Yuriko. Just continuing on with our chat about the tack and equipment. This one's got a liquid titanium mask on. These are relatively new, and they let the horses, I don't know, just feel a little bit more kind of comfortable almost. It's a little bit like a comfort blanket. It just takes the kind of edge off and helps them relax. Oh, just caught that one at the angle. I was a little bit skeptical about the masks, but we have a tack store at home, and we sold them in the tack store, and everyone that's bought them have said how well they help the horses. They use them for mainly riding, but some people also use them to travel as well. And that wasn't a bad round, was it? 63.01, just a little bit flat in a couple of places. Takes a couple of rails, but heads down into 10th at the moment. Again, you know, the time was good. Our one clears on 70.97, that was in the 63s. Daniela says this looks like a fun course. Monica says it's pretty hard. Well, I mean, this is a 4-star international for $50,000. It's got to have that technicality in there. Couple of questions coming in about the stables. It's become a bit of a talking point, and I have to say they're probably one of the nicest show stables you'll find anywhere, although they are technically underground and underneath us. You know, the sort of ceiling height down there is bigger than any temporary show stable you'll find. The actual size of the boxes are not temporary show stables like in Europe. We see the 3 metre by 3 metres. These are massive open loose boxes. So yeah, the horses love it down there. Chris Sorensen's back here with Chinook, the combination that rides for Canada. Chris has been riding this horse for several years now. He was third in the $75,000 welcome at Fort Worth at the end of last year, and already been pushing him up and down the levels, this horse, during the year. Catches that front part of the double there. See, he rides this one in a Hackamore bitless bridle with a bib martingale on. At the moment, 8 faults can get you in the money if you're faster than 63.01, but we've still got 11 combinations left to come here in this one-round competition. 12 is the total, 66.01, and 12 there for Chris. Outside the money, sadly. Heads down to 16th. Daniela says she would like to make this course at home at her own level. Well, Daniela, don't tell Olaf Peterson I told you this, but if you go to longinetiming.com, click on this event, click on Saturday, because that's the day, and then you'll find this competition. You can actually see the course plan on there. You can download it, print it out. With some sort of safety disclaimer that you should probably consult someone about distances and stuff, because those aren't on there, and every arena, you know, that you build in is slightly different in terms of the ground and if it goes uphill or downhill. So be careful with the distances is all I'm saying. But if anyone wants to see the course plan, you can head to longinetiming.com. You'll also find the start list and the result lists on there as well. Rival de Longines comes next, Mr. Pastel. Rides for Norway. It's 9-year-olds by Nartago. He's been competing with this horse in Barcelona for the Nations Cups, and we've seen them in Saint-Tropez. Gregory Wathlay's ridden this horse as well. But these riders will know if they can just keep moving forward, if they can leave the fences up, they're going to be guaranteed some prize money now. You know, even a time fault would get you some prize money today. That's guaranteed. So it does take a little bit of the pressure off, but we've got a few in there that are very competitive and that have got horses that they know they can trust and they can allow them to move forward. Marie's given this horse a very nice ride in there today, but really just using the room, setting up, staying economical, but at the same time using this as a bit of an education this round. She's going to pick up a time fault, but still going to head into the placings. 3 time faults, 74.23. 3 time faults there, into 4th for Marie, into 4th place. Alexis Sokolov still leads, Danielle Morrow 2nd, and Casey Amen in 3rd place. Dina says, how high is the course? 1.45 m, 1.45 m. Laura says, all the discussion on stabling underground, you need to take us on a bit of a video tour. Well, maybe I'll do that between classes for anyone that follows me on Instagram. You can search for Adam Cromarty, follow me on there. I'll stick a little video of the stables on. There's also a picture of me at the stables with Mark Wahlberg from, I think it was yesterday or the day before. Every day's the same here. We get great sport all day long, great fun at night. Love this show. Victor Fu says about that last one, she's riding really slowly. A bit like I was saying, Victor, you know, all these horses, all these riders all come in with different plans. These horses all at different stages in their career, in their training. So some will be going forward, some will be going a little bit slower, but they all come in with their plan and they execute their plan. Skylar Wireman's next, Satoki. I think this one will go quite quickly, actually. Skylar had her biggest win yet in the 4-star Speed in Sacramento a few weeks ago, and this is a horse she knows well. She got the horse from Justin Resnick. He's 17 years old, this horse, by Katoki, but he doesn't know his age. He loves his job. He loves to travel across the ground. And it's just such a great story. I know I mentioned this the other day, but this horse broke his pelvis 2 years ago and was able to recover. And it's a real testament to Skylar and her team that this horse, you know, stays at tip-top fitness, tip-top shape. Looks like the horse still really kind of moves across the back, you know. But she's such a competitive rider. What a great recovery. She's on down. This is going to go into the lead if she leaves the jump up. And she's done it. Pushes through. 63.83. Fist pump says it all there. Straight to the top for Skylar Wireman of the USA. So young, so talented, and so competitive. Now leading the way there. Skylar Wireman leads. Alexis Sokolov goes 2nd. And Danielle Morrow heading down into 3rd. It's a 1-2-3 for the USA at this stage. It was a great round, wasn't it? Such a great story with that horse as well. LD says, love seeing all the different ways the riders ride these courses. Absolutely. But has she done enough? That's the big question. Some good ones still to come. This is another young horse. It's an 8-year-old, this gelding. It's by Baloo de Rouet. It's called Thomas Court Ballypatrick. Charlotte Jacobs for the USA on behalf of the North Star team. This is a horse we've seen at 2-star level in Tryon and Traverse City. But we've also seen them internationally as well. We've seen them in Ottawa in Canada. We've seen them in Dublin in Ireland, Hickstead in the UK. Charlotte bought this horse as a 6-year-old from Greg Boderick. He's an Irish sport horse and was selected as one of the few Irish sport horses every year that go over and compete at those championships there. For the young horses. Charlotte does a nice job. And she's got some cracking young horses at the moment. I think she's spending time, you know, producing them from the ground up. And they're going to be a real testament to her for sure. A couple of rails, but there's so much to like about this young horse, isn't there? $67.74. An exciting one for the future, though, for Charlotte Jacobs. That's Thomas Court Ballypatrick there for the USA. Skylar Wireman still out in front, though.
Colombia's Nico Gamboa is next. Rampage Warrior as well. The 11-year-old Holsteiner gelding by San Patrick Casino.
The pressure's on a little bit. Remember, we have seen some faster ones, but they've had a rail. Derek Kenny on 60.33 with the 4 faults. He was about 3 and a bit seconds faster. So the door is still open a little bit. If you've just joined us online on Facebook or YouTube, not too late to get involved with the conversation. Let us know where you're watching from. Any questions or comments, stick them in that box below. The Animal Girl watching on YouTube Live says, when will it end? We have 7 left to come, including this one. This is Nico Gamboa here, NKH Warrior. On paper, should have been one of the competitive ones. Nico, great rider, just back from the Pan American Games. He had NKH Mr. Darcy there. Another one of the NKH LLC horses. This one a little bit newer. To Nico's international string. But Nico, you know, still getting to know this horse indoors. And just 2 down today, so finishes up on the 8, 70.03, 8 faults there for Nico Gamboa and NKH Warrior. If you have just joined us, 6 left to go, 6 left to go in the Double or Nothing Speed Stake here at the Las Vegas National. Quick reminder as well that you can enjoy the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup Las Vegas tonight. It is on FEI TV, so you'll have to organise a subscription through FEI TV, through Clip My Horse. And make sure you join us for that. And remember, the highlights of the World Cup will be available around the world on television. It's also live in some countries as well, so definitely check your listings. I'll be there with Katie Stazak. We won't be able to chat back and forward on social during that one because it's on live TV and it's on a highlight show and all that fun stuff. But it'll be great to have you guys watching, though. And the grandstands will be pretty full tonight. Such a big grandstand with so much seating. But tonight, once they get that evening performance underway, we'll have a good crowd in here. The atmosphere is going to be electric. Hi to Kimberly Dwinnell watching in New Hampshire. Sarah Rebecca Witten says, watching from the rained out Paso Robles horse show. It dries up for you, Sarah. I haven't been outside for a day or two, but I'm sure it's dry here. Right, this could be interesting now because we've got a time to be beaten of 63.83. Connor Swale loves a challenge, and he comes with his friends Nadal Hero and DB, the 10-year-old gelding by Cannon. You know how competitive Connor is. He had a little bit of bad luck with the first horse. 61.63 was his time with 4 faults with ride number 1. Right, here we go. Let's get Connor Swale on track. If I was Skylar Wireman, I'd be biting my nails because I know and she knows and everyone knows how quick Connor can be, how quick this horse can turn. And the interesting thing is Connor won't lose any power around the turns. You know, when we watch him in that rollback turn later on the course, he will keep that forward momentum. The horse will be thinking forward. It's going to be travelling. It's going to be covering the ground. But he's got that adjustability as well. He knows he's got to try and protect this vertical. And he goes to that light upper body, lets the horse travel underneath him. nicely over there. Ah, that was a shame. But look at the way he can ride this. The horse keeps moving. Whoa! That was really unexpected. You can see how Connor expected the horse to go around that turn, because, you know, we've seen them in some real tight rollback turns in the past, and the horse never seems to lose power. It's now having a bit of a conversation with Connor around that turn. What a bad day at the office, and very unexpected there for Connor Swale. Nadal Hero and DB. Just maybe thinking he knows a little bit better than Connor today, which isn't like that one, to be fair. That was a shame. Connor's been on good form. He's already had a win here this week. He just catches that rail. I don't know if maybe it just unsettled the horse a little bit when he had a rail. The horse doesn't like having rails down. That was a shame there for Connor. He'd be one to watch tonight for those tuning in to the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup. Lisa Bros is next with a horse called Tinkerbell. Hi to Liz Fisher, just joined us on Facebook Live. Watching from the UK, where I'll be flying back to after 8 weeks tomorrow. This horse is a 13-year-old by Chaco Blue. Won the 145 Farm Vet Classic together at Desert Horse Park earlier in the year. They've won 2-star Grand Prix at Blenheim Equisports as well in San Juan Capistrano, and this horse is naturally fast and normally quite careful. So Lisa just has to ride the track, trust her, and let her do her job. She trains with Cassio Rivetti. Oh, moves up here. Gets it back though. Oh, pushes off the corner and then really has to take a check down here to protect this double. Remember, a fast 4-fault round could go top 6th. Don't know if anyone can beat Dara Kenny's time though. Ah, flattens over there. That's the question for sure at that vertical. Be able to keep moving, keep the speed, and then have the front end nice and light. It's difficult. Finishes up on 12, 61.64. 12 total there for Lisa Bros and Tinkerbell. Just 4 left to come. See, she gets in quite close, catches the back bar, and you can see then she really had to ride well down to that double. Just a little bit flat as she comes over the vertical there. AC Mummy 26 on YouTube Live says, wow, the cups must be flat. Yeah, these cups do tend to be flat. And if you look out for the yellow ones, like the one that's on that red vertical next to the in-gate, that rollback turn, you see it's on yellow cups, and they were brought out a few years ago. They were a great tool in the course designer's kit, but now with the rules, they're actually on most of the fences, and they're 3 millimeters shallower than the white ones you were used to seeing. You saw them there in your frame again as he went past that fence. So yeah, the material's light, the cups are shallow, they need to be able to get up in the air over these fences. Camila Rodeo comes forward next, My Boy Blue. First to the final 4. This is a 9-year-old gelding. This pair have had some great Grand Prix victories and top finishes nationally at Blenheim Equisports. Also shown internationally at Del Mar in California and Sacramento. He's another rider that we see with a few different horses. Had a bit of a chat down that line, and it just catches up with him as he came out there. But the jumps are, relatively speaking, the easy bit. It's all about the control, the rhythm in the canter, how you set up for each line. In some ways, you'd hope this rollback would just kind of help them. You know, the things got a little bit flat down there. He had the energy, but it was kind of falling out the front door. Finishes up on 12, 70.33, 12 the total there for Camilo and My Boy Blue.
The lead is held by Skylar Ryerman at 63.83.
Nancy Rivers says, what's the name of this venue? It's called the South Point Hotel and Casino. About a 15-minute drive from the Las Vegas Strip with traffic. Just down the road there, you'll find the madness of Las Vegas, but it's a bit of a haven up here from the equestrian centre anyway. But it's a fantastic venue. We were talking about it earlier, Nancy, so you might have to rewind. I'm not going to go through everything it's got again, but it's got everything you would find in a casino down on the Strip, plus a cinema and a few other bits. There's people gambling all night long, the bars are open all night long, so you still get the fun of Vegas, but then it's got the Safe Haven Equestrian Centre just up here. Right, again, another one that could be one to watch. This is Sun Warrior. This is a very competitive horse. Caitlin Campbell, a very competitive rider. Caitlin's already won a class this week against the clock. This horse prefers having a little bit of pace and just keeping that forward rhythm. As he's wearing a bit of a nose net. Some horses prefer that if they're got a bit of an allergy with the dust or with pollen when we're outside, or is a little bit head shaky. You can put one of those nose nets on and they really do help. But Caitlin's always been a competitive rider, and she's keeping in the back of her mind that a clear at this stage is likely to finish top 3 and guaranteed to finish top 6 by just leaving the fences up. That's all she has to do if she wants that. But I think she's going to try and catch Skylar. She's got 10 seconds to get home. Not going to be quite fast enough to take over the top spot, but this is going to get a good placing today. Yeah, gets that clear. 65.53 into second there for Caitlin Campbell of the United States of America. I think that was a great idea when she came in. You know, Sheila looked at the results, Sheila looked at how things were in the standings, and she knew she didn't have to go crazy here. If she could just keep moving forward, this horse likes a naturally quick pace anyway. She was going to pick up a good place without taking too many risks to try and catch the leading time. So I think that was a great plan, a good piece of riding. Hi to Victoria, just tuned in from France. Good to have you with us on Facebook Live. We've only got a few left, so if there's anyone else that wants to ask any questions, if you want to just say hello, tell me where you're watching from, you can do it on Facebook for the chat on there, for YouTube Live, or on my Instagram at Adam Cromarty. Feel free to get involved with the conversation. Right, let's get Kamagorek underway. This is a horse that she jumped in the World Cup at Washington not so long ago. It's called Connie. It's a 9-year-old mare by Conthargos with some very nice breeding lines. One that she's taken some embryos off this year. And then using her voice a little bit down that line. Let's take a bit of a check there. Look at the angle. I think it was the angle that caught the rail. Let's see how she's going to handle this roll back. Nicely. And a good forefault could still get you in the money. Lucky at the first, catches up with her at the second though. And is going to finish on 8 faults, 64.20. Time-wise, the time was actually good enough for second place. But those two rails coming down push her off our leaderboard. And then there was just one combination left to come. Penny says, I love Caitlin's horse. Both are an experienced team. Yeah, Caitlin's a very good competitive rider, Penny. I completely agree with you. Mick Dre's just joined us as well, watching on Facebook Live. Someone's saying, Monica's saying, did he get penalties for that RR? You'll have to translate RR for me, Monica. Right, we're already underway with our final one, and I was just about to tell you how well this pair have been going, how competitive this rider was, and how I thought this would be one of the favourites on paper today. And then she goes and has an early rail. You can see her really having to pull down there. Katie Lowry and Boom on track for Australia. They are last to go here in this one-round competition. And this could have easily have been our winner today. She's going to be so frustrated with that early rail. This is a really nice horse, and one that Katie's produced up through the grades. It's a 9-year-old, this one. Same age as Katie's daughter. Katie actually lets her daughter ride this one at home. They've grown up together. Catches that rail as well. And jumps the final fence. 66.01, 2 down, 8 falls there for Katie Lowry of Australia. That was a real shame.
That will make Skylar Wireman and Sutoki our winner of our double nothing speed scope. We'll have the prize giving coming up in just a few minutes.
Well, unexpected of that pair after the performance that they've had so far this week.
When you see our new final result,
that was a real shame for her, but congratulations, of course, go to Skylar Wireman of the USA. 63.83, and what a great story. That was the horse that broke its pelvis, came back to competition, and has now just won a 4-star class here in Las Vegas. Well, just as we kind of wrap things up and take a look at this full result, let's congratulate Skylar Wireman once again. 63.83 is the winning time. Caitlin Campbell just behind, also jumping clear, 65.53. And Alexis Sokoloff, also for the USA, 70.97, and will take 3rd place. Plenty on 4 faults. Fastest of them was Dara Kenny in 60.33. He had the time of the competition, but then took a rail. But a very interesting class here today. Plenty of twists and turns, plenty of technicality. And as I mentioned earlier, you know, I think the riders would like that technicality that they saw today rather than just a long gallop track. And I know it's always nice to be able to watch that and see how the riders tackle it too. So congratulations once again to the young talent that is Skylar Wireman, who takes the victory here. Quick reminder, the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup Las Vegas is tonight, 7 p.m. local time this Saturday evening. So make sure you join us for that. It's on FEI TV. Get yourself organised, get a subscription if you haven't already got one. Of course, you can enjoy competition from all the disciplines from around the world on that service, so definitely worth it. I'll be there alongside Katie Stazak. But a huge, huge thank you to everybody who's been getting involved with the conversation on YouTube Live and on Facebook and through my Instagram as well. I will take a little video tour of the stables because someone asked me to do that, so feel free to follow me on Instagram. Just search for Adam Cromarty. I'll get that video tour done for you this afternoon. I'm going to have lunch first though. But yeah, huge thank you to everyone from around the world who has been tuning in, who has been joining us, who has been getting involved. And this is our final Facebook YouTube competition of the Las Vegas National, and I think it's the last one that I'll be doing this year. I will be in Texas for World Cup, but just for that one class. Again, that will be in December, but it will only be on FEI TV. We're getting close to Christmas, and then of course we'll be back as we head to Puebla in Mexico at the start of the year. So a huge thank you to everyone who has been getting involved throughout the year. Enjoy the festive period. We're getting so close now, and I do love Christmas. Feel free once again to follow me on Instagram. Just search for Adam Cromarty on there. But from now and from the whole team here at Las Vegas, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll hand you over now to Oliver Kennedy, our ring announcer here, as he'll take you through the prize giving.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we conduct our double or nothing winning round prize giving ceremony, we'd like to take this time to honor the recipient of the Michael Meller Style of Riding Award. The M. Michael Meller Style of Riding Award each year is presented to the international equestrian who displays an exemplary style of riding as well as sportsmanlike composure within the FEI jumping division. Previous winners at other Longines FEI World Cup jumping events include notable athletes like Andreas Rodriguez, Chloe Reed, Mavis Spencer, Allison Robitaille, Connor Swale, Aaron Ballard, Natalie Dean, Charlie Jacobs, Jennifer Waxman, Laura Kraut, Eric Vivet, and last year's recipient here, Jennifer Waxman. At this time, we direct your attention to the Jumbotron as we recognize the 2023 Las Vegas National M. Michael Meller Style of Riding recipient.
How long will the star last the highest level of the sport? There's always a union factor of time. Many equestrians feel pressed to go with the fast-paced flow of the sport and raw the wave until the next one comes in line. But every so often, there's a few great horsemen that create their own path to the top. Charlotte Jacobs fell a legendary equestrian William Jacobs of U.S. Star Country whose further own equal sport. In addition to piloting some of the top sport models, Charlotte and National Adventures are leading the benefit that same top quality talent on their own schedule. From 2015 to 2020, Charlotte focused on breeding and young horse training operations during 5, 6, and 7 years, in addition to other commercial needs. For patience and training will certainly pay off, and she is slowly but surely bred and trained to own breed of horses unmatched by any in the U.S. From finding success with young horses at the U.S. HPA Young Double Championship to competing in the first ever CSI platform, Charlotte has put on in the sport and creating a legacy of horses to sustain the horses. As a lover of developing young horses, I believe that they are the way to bringing the sport of show jumping forward to a new level. I am honored to share the same passion with Charlotte. That is why she is the 2023 Las Vegas National Horse Show recipient of the M. Michael Meller Style of Riding Award. Congratulations, Charlotte.
Making the presentation on behalf of M. Michael Meller is Robert Ridland. Again, we present the M. Michael Meller Style of Riding Award to Charlotte Jacobs. Our congratulations to Charlotte. And it is just about time for us to go to